New Spencer. Hey. New Spencer. Hey. New Spencer. Hey. Get your head.
Hello. It's been a little bit. To be honest with you, I been getting kind of messed with a lot of my devices, but I'm back up and running. My phone, got a new phone. You get a new phone. That phone is all of a sudden no good. I woke up one day, it was no good, and a couple other things I should probably just keep off the air. But let me get a audio check, and thank you for the thank you for the kind comments when I was gone for some of you guys, and I saw, what did I see in chat right now? Let me see here. Let me see. Okay. So, what's the chat? Oh, now it says okay. This thing never used to give me trouble. Now every time I go live, it's like your video resolution or your audio. It's always something. I mean, say when I do the audio thing, that's me. But you know, the video resolution and the bit rate and all that, it never was a problem. Now it's a problem every single time. And notification came, so that's a good thing. Thank you, Mocknot. That's great to hear. And yeah, Cali Kibo, at first I was gonna say, oh my god, congratulations, and then I kind of realized what he was saying. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess so. But hello to everybody. Sound is good, then that is good. Mark is in the house as always. Thank you, Mocknot. I appreciate that, and it's really good to see you. But yeah, as I said, just today I got a new phone, so there has not been a shortage of news, that's for sure, which is part of the reason I was maybe gonna wait one more night for the Friday night, and I said, you know what, there's just so much news. Now, other YouTubers might think there's so much news, oh my god, I gotta report the news. It might even, I gotta report the news. It's not so much that. It's that when I see all this news, and it's like, they by the way, for anyone watching, R. Kelly just got arrested. Like, just broke 5 minutes ago. I should have added that. I would have got a whole new crowd in here. But yeah, it's just when you start to see all, there's a story for everybody. Whatever your cup of tea is. Like in sports, I've never seen so many things happen in a 2-week period as I have. And then of course, one of the biggest things to happen, some of them were predictable. One of the bigger things was the defending champion, the guy who was able to beat the Warriors. I know you guys might not care about this, but it's just making my point. Kawhi Leonard, well, he finally officially went to LA, except not the LA Lakers with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and they even got like another one of the best players in the league. It's not even fair, that team. It's not even fair. Um, and then the other LA team basically doesn't have much. Well, now they got Kawhi Leonard. So that's like the big story now. And that's a huge story for Cali. I mean, California hasn't been relevant in basketball in so long. And they were able to acquire these players without giving up some of these young guys that they acquired. So it's like people, basketball is the sport in LA. That it is the sport. It just is. Just because the Lakers history, although the Celtics history is a lot more impressive. But for some reason, people don't want to come to Boston. I don't know. But there's something for everybody. If you live in LA, there's either that or R. Kelly just got arrested. If you're into sports, just that news, the sports news I just told you, is enough. But if it's not enough, the former commissioner of baseball just wrote a all-telling book, about the whole steroid era, how much of a nightmare that was, how Barry Bonds was juicing like a maniac, and that's when he's getting old, and all of a sudden he's like huge and hits 70-something. So, 72, I think. And so, and then also talked about how he didn't sell the Red Sox for the highest bidder, but instead the most, shall we say, safe and grounded bidder, who happened to also own the media in that town, the Boston Globe. Huge at the time, when newspapers were actually mattered. I mean, these newspapers do their best with clickbait nowadays and fake stories, but not much to look at, if you ask me. If you're big and you're following the whole child sex trafficking, if you're in that truth community, we got some stories for you, right? We got Epstein, we got all this stuff. Now we're going to be going over all this stuff. Natural disasters, all right? You're kind of like a nerd. You're into all that, all right? Not that you're a nerd if you're into that, but you know what I mean. I'm just trying to make a point. There's something for everybody. They have a story out for everyone. Maybe it's just legit. It's summer season. Everyone's active. A lot of crazy stuff happens. I don't know. Maybe that. But this doesn't seem to be just a lot of crazy stuff happening because a lot of people are out and about. No, there seems to be a lot of random events happening in the same small amount of time. And Jeff Epstein, he's going down. Now, I don't know if small hat me or small hat Jeff Epstein. He is a small hat, but although his wealth is crazy, but compared to the wealth of his constituents, it's nothing. And I just heard Live in the Air, and you could tell this one. You know how you can just tell when you look at someone when they're guilty or not? Well, you guys know this attorney, Alan Dershowitz. He's always on CNN, I can't stand him. I couldn't stand him before I knew what he was about. Now he's on Fox, or at least he's on Fox today. And he's talking about, I was just his lawyer for that case. I mean, I had a lot of undesirables that I worked with, but then all of a sudden now he's too far gone to defend? Why? Why all of a sudden? Oh, because you're being accused right along with him. And there might be and he's going to be saying names pretty soon. We know he is. He's already given up. He's going to give up. It's for in order to make bail. The proposal they're going to put forward includes his mansion in New York City. I mean, we're talking a mansion. I even remember, I don't know why I was watching it, but if any of you guys saw this, Tom Arnold or whatever, that he's like crazy. You could tell he's one of those, he's crazy. And he was just like, oh, I'm hunting down the Trump tapes. This is when everyone is had Trump, just, like a Trump disorder. They still do, but this is at the peak. When Michael Cohen claimed to have this damaging information, and Tom Arnold was with him, and then all of a sudden he was on CNN. He couldn't talk. He was so coked out of his mind, like literally couldn't talk. Like, you guys gotta look up that video. Anyways, then all of a sudden he tries to link Trump to Epstein, which there is a link there. But I noticed this. I mean, I've been looking at Epstein for years, since the beginning of Q, because Q brought him up at the beginning. And if you guys didn't know, by the way, Trump does have a link to Epstein. Although, and so, you know, they probably did talk about women and stuff. It's just something Trump said in a quote, you know what I mean? He said, yeah, we would hang out and stuff. And he's like, and, you know, we talk about women. And he goes, yeah, but he likes them a little young. And I think he said that because something happened. Something happened at Mar-a-Lago where Trump kicked him out, and he's like, I'm done with this guy. So something must have happened. He must have tried to do something stupid, and it's probably with someone that he knew's kid. Who know? I'm at this point. I'm guessing, but my point is, the news, it is so vast. If you're in, like me, my favorite story as a Navy guy, right? An SGA Kania, was the Iran attempted piracy of a British oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz, which I really want to get. I really want to get there's one phone call I made with Mahfouzal where it was kind of like a say-all. I kind of really had a lot to say on that show, on this particular call. And, you know, I had been doing my homework. I don't even know if I had my own channel at the time. And I said, you know, it's on both biblically and, you know, as far as you know, whatever the next plan is, as far as who runs this world and militarily, when the Strait of Hormuz starts popping up in the news, and if something goes on there, if there's an FF there or something. Now it's like every other day there's something going on over there. And do I think that Iran attempted to pirate a ship? I mean, maybe. Probably not, though, right? Probably not. You know, just the way it goes down, you know, attempted to, you know. I just don't see it. They said a bunch of the Iran Revolutionary Guard, who Iran doesn't have much of a navy, but for the purposes that we're talking about, they do have those type of capabilities, like, and they would be quite advanced, but to the point where you can take a tanker. If there wasn't such, if everybody wasn't on such high alert going through that strait, then they could definitely do it. But with the British Navy right there, obviously the British Navy was within, you know, distance to be able to strike them, and they were close enough to be able to warn them. I just don't know. I just don't know if there was really an honest attempt at it. I really don't know. If you're into politics, well, if you're on the right, you got to listen to some crazy, you know, I mean, not crazy, but you know, like a Trump kind of in his element, just kind of being himself, talking to a bunch of conservative media folk, even the type like what we do here, talking to those kind of people, you know, some of the people who are a lot more popular than this show, but regardless, talking to all them in the Rose Garden. And then the craziness happens when he leaves and he didn't take questions, and some guy starts yelling out, And then Gorka goes over and gets in his face or tells him, like shut your mouth or something like that. And the guy goes, you want to take this outside? I mean, first of all, they're already outside. Second of all, like, nice class, buddy. You got class. In the Rose Garden at the White House, and you want to take it outside with Dr. Gorka. Pretty pathetic. And Gorka just kind of was like, what is it? This guy got a press pass. Like, and it blew his mind. He walked away. And then you could tell some, like, some guy who's some influencer on Instagram or Twitter probably, kind of ran up in his face. He's like, he would have kicked your ass. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but it was pretty funny. And then on the left, talk about losing their minds. You got Pelosi, and I never thought I'd say this, but I'm on Pelosi's side on this one if I have to pick a side, right? I'll take the crazy, alcoholic liberal over the communist / socialist any day. Well, more so socialist, but big bad AOC, right? I'm not a big Twitter guy, right? I use it for its purposes. You can get the latest, quickest. You can get the latest news. If you're looking for something, or you knew something just happened, or you ever feel, or you just want to find out the latest on something and hear what people are saying, that's the best tool. It also can be a great tool for getting out like messages and things like that. But as far as using it on a regular basis, it's just not for me. For sports stuff, I have a different channel than Red Pill News. I put out betting tips. That's it. That's all I really use it for. But a lot of people look at Twitter like this virtual real world. There's like the real world and there's like the Twitter world, and you throw your weight around in the Twitter world by how you can outwit intelligently in so many characters and kind of with facts, hopefully be able to kind of put someone down and in a smart way, kind of I don't know it's like crazy. But AOC seems to be pretty good at that. She's been calling out names and she's been calling out big names, and throwing out dirt, airing out people's laundry. She's really been starting to really get out of hand a little bit for the left. And then she has her own team and her own chief of staff, AOC's chief of her staff, right? Who are obviously extremely as far left as you can go. And they said that these blue dog Democrats are nothing different than the old Democrats that started the Ku Klux Klan, which is a factual statement. The second half. Now, I don't think that Biden or Pelosi are anything like the KKK. I don't think that. I'll say a lot of bad things about them because I think that they don't have the best interests of this country, and in particular, Biden is definitely influenced. See, Pelosi's just always been extremely liberal. Now she's a moderate. All of a sudden, it's like it blows my mind. It really does. In just a few years. I was gonna say early 30s, but I'm 35, so I don't know. And I feel like a old guy. Like the old days, the liberals are. It's just so crazy how far left. Now, it only takes a few of them, but these few are the most well-known of all of them, outside maybe Pelosi, as far as the House goes. So, that holds a lot of power, holds a lot of weight, and in the end, I think it's gonna lose a lot of seats. They might be the best thing that ever happened. The two Muslim women, the black woman from Massachusetts, first black House Democrat from Massachusetts, I think. No, that can't be right. Although I think it is. Maybe of Boston. I think she represents Boston. She's the first something. But she's black, and then two Muslims, and AOC. And then she starts basically calling Pelosi a liar. I mean, a racist. Basically, saying, this and that. She knows what we go through. We get death threats, all this stuff. For a woman of color. And then the guy goes, "Oh, wow, you think she's racist?" "Oh, no," she says, almost like sarcastically. Because I guess Pelosi took them all in a room, and she said, "Listen, after her chief of staff said that crazy stuff about comparing them to whatever, and then they also said something like comparing them to Nazis or something crazy that he said. The tweets were taken down almost right after they were taken down. But once it's out there, it's out. People always take the tweets down, but people can tell, this tweet's bad news. So they screenshot it and they save it. They know. This is gonna get taken down, and they save it. And you can see a million, captures of it when you look, and we can take a look. But it's just all this stuff, and some of it might be happen sense, but when I start to see this much news, what starts to go off, the bells that start to go off in my head, and I want to go off in your head, and I think for those of you who've been around with me a while, this is the stuff that goes off in your head as well. You start to think, okay, now this, now that, and the reemergence of Q, which might actually be the reason for it all. Who knows? I mean, Q has never seemed more legit than as each day goes by. I haven't seen anybody able to disprove it by any stretch. And all I see is everything that he said was going to happen. They said, it's really a group, like counter intel special group, if it's real. I haven't seen anything that they said really disproven. It is kind of convenient to have the whole disinformation is necessary. That way, if something doesn't pan out, it's disinformation. However, you can the disinformation kind of stands out as disinformation. You know what I mean? You can see why they try to get them off their track. They try to pretend something's going to drop and get them to spend some political bullets. You only have so many political bullets in your gun. And in my eyes, the Democrats have shot both and their backup. And it seems like they're trying to avoid something, and it's not just Trump's presidency. It seems like some of them, the shifts and just certain ones, the shifts, anyone connected with Clintons, and it just seems like anyone from that era. It seems like they were the Comeys, the Brennans, those ones. They're the ones that seem like they're fighting for something more. And as time goes by, more and more news comes out that it comes up exactly the way he put it 2 years ago, 1 year ago. People used to think when he put it out, that means it's going to happen right then. Well, people have started to find out that you will just look back 1 year, sometimes 1 year and 2 days, because at some point they said 2 days. They had during the Kavanaugh thing, I think they said we had to switch they've had it all planned out, supposedly. But at one point there was a switch where they were going to be early or late 2 days. I think because of something with Kavanaugh, some positioning there to do that must have been important. I don't know. All I know is that I followed it. I've always read it. I've always kept an open mind, and I've always kind of thought this got to be artificial intelligence or it's real. It seems more and more real as time goes and news breaks. But we're going to look into all of that. But most of all, we're going to take calls. And we're going to take calls. I really want to go through this quick. I mean, unless you guys just want to go straight to call, we can do that, because I am all for taking calls. And I would love for the first call, just the first call, for a new caller, to the show, first time caller. If there's not anyone that meets that criteria that is able to call, and then we'll just proceed. I mean, obviously, this show has the best callers. I also, by the way, I put out a video earlier today. I realized I had never put it out, and I kind of felt bad about doing that. It was an interview I did for a channel called The Badger Report. It was months ago. But he's a good guy, and he's a outspoken person in the targeted individual community. And I really enjoyed talking to him, and I believe these people, because I go through electronic harassment, which has been really bad lately, to be honest with you. And it's when I'm sleeping at night. Either that or I got something wrong. I don't know. I don't know. It's too much. There's something going on. It's like fizzing in my head, and like the back of my head goes. It's not a constant, but it's at night when I lay down. But then there's not just that. Then there's like these bolts that like go from my toe up or my head down. It could be either or. And some nights it's like it's like you're being messed with. And even Richie from Boston one time came up and said, I never hate to admit it, because then I know I don't want to give them the satisfaction. And then he explains how this stuff happens to him at night, and it was exactly what I go through. So it really makes me think, because we're in close proximity to each other. And putting myself, and not just having the clearance, but putting myself out there as somebody who had a clearance, and then when they look into it, they're like, oh, we did have a clearance. Oh, and he's the truther. He hasn't said anything classified from his time. I don't know if I've touched on something that could have been classified, researching other stuff, but I don't think so. I would never put out something classified. But I feel like I would be a prime target, and I feel like I have been in that way. But he goes into stuff like gang stalking, things like that. I need rest? No, I'm pretty good. I mean, I've never been much of someone that needs much sleep. I have been able to go on little sleep. I've always been able to do that. And sometimes it causes me to kind of look like, oh, but people are you drugged up or something? It's obviously I'm not drugged up, nothing like that. I will smoke here and there, but nothing like that. No, I'm not even tired at all. I even have this. Not tired at all. So I don't know if that was meant for me. I know there's something was saying something in chat. And also, did I see so yes, Kevin from Chicago, I want to thank you. That was very kind of you. That means a lot for the channel. As soon as the good thing is, that brings me closer, because once I hit I don't know what, I think it's like $100. So right now, I forget the total. It's like probably around like, because they take a percentage, but it's around like, I don't know, like 60 something. But I think it's 100. I'm not sure. But once you hit a certain threshold, then they pay you. Other than that, you don't get the money yet until you hit a threshold. So if you're a channel that is getting like $300 in super chat every night, then they probably get a check like every week. But I have to like hit the threshold. They say the threshold for the appointed threshold, or however they say it, but they don't say what it is. So I don't know. I might have to call and find out what it is. But I seen something about $100, so that might be it. Once it's at 100, and I don't think it's 100 overall. I think it's 100 after they take their cut. And that's, I'm gonna put, like I said, any money that's donated to this channel, in a super chat that I get from YouTube, anything from YouTube that I get, PayPal, I might use some of that on myself. You know what I mean? I'll be honest. What I have gotten in PayPal, it's actually helped me out of a real bad jam. I'm not well off financially, but I'm not starving or hurting either. I think that's I'm not in a bad place either. So there's food, just enough to just me and my daughter, but yeah, so anyway, so once I hit that threshold, all 100% of that money is going to, it seems like the first thing I'm going to need is a microphone. I mean, that seems to be something that a lot of people say in the comments, and I agree with them. When I listen to the videos, I don't like hearing the fans sometimes, because the computer's like been running all day, me researching, and then I go live, and it's like, so that, and then next would be like a mixer for the phone, and I could do like a mixer and do the phone calls, and kind of switch the gears that way instead of having to do it all manually. If I really got lucky, I would if I really got lucky, I would, go for a different laptop, because what I'm doing right now, why I'm always looking on the side, is this laptop was my last resort. I forgot I had it. I got it donated in school, and because I had to take the semester off since I became a single dad out of nowhere, but now that the situation hopefully will be staying improved, or at the very least I could get daycare or something, and actually be planned to happen my first day of class. I had already been in for like a year and a half, so I'm almost there as far as like just getting the associates. I already got an associate in psychology, and now I'm trying to get one in communications. I already did an internship that led to my job that I have right now. So far I've gotten a lot from it. It's really worked out. I got an internship on the radio locally, but once I get that degree, that's going to help a lot. Oh, thank you so much, Kelly Keeble. You do enough, though. I know you got 2 kids to take care of now. Thank you so much, Kelly. That means a lot. Thank you. Alright, guys, so I'm going to start getting into it. Now, I just want to get clear. I just wanted to read chat if anything was, because I saw some reactions. I really appreciate that. Twice? I hope you didn't mean to. I hope that was by accident. I hope that wasn't by accident. You just messed up. But thank you. And you can write a message. And you know what? I didn't even read Kevin's. Kevin from Chicago says, small hat. Jeff Epstein is going down, brother. Does that mean I have a small hat? It's kind of big, actually. It's adjustable, though. Well, you're saying he's a small hat. Alright. Alright, guys, so we can start to go through these, so I'm trying to read some of the, yeah, so that was with, the Badger Report. Squash, I'm so sorry, what, you're sick? Let me see. Oh, yeah, Squash, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, because I know exactly what you mean. As far as like being over medicated sometimes, like when I went to the VA, they tried to give me, it was like 8 different medications, and 6 of them were psychological, although a 7th one could be used for psychological purposes as well, but it was just a like a nerve pain, it was like not an opiate. It's different, and that med actually worked great. I mean, I can't even get out of bed in the morning sometimes because I got the nerve that goes around to your front. So I don't have sciatica. What is that nerve? Anyways, that's pinched in my back, and I got shots every 3 months. And the doctor said, all right, after like 5 of them or something like that, he goes, okay, that should be good. It was good for a while, and now it's back to hurt. And then you start, they catch you on a bad day, you're gonna end up on all kinds of psych meds. And some of these meds, the type of psych meds, you can't come off them. Especially like anxiety meds. You gotta be careful with that stuff. I was in a position one time where I didn't even realize what I was taking was like it was like a desired drug on the street. It was clonazepam, and I didn't even know. I knew Xanax, but I didn't know clonazepam, and that's what I was on. And you gotta be careful with that stuff. It did help though. It did help. See, the problem with those things are the things that help the most also can, kind of like they work almost too well. You're kind of too loose. You don't want to be, you want to keep your wits. Otherwise, you're like telling your life story every time you talk. I guess it'd be good for like running a show, except you forget everything as well. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff with the meds. You gotta be really careful. Yeah, that's a tough one. And they told me that they were like, you can die coming off this and all that. You can have seizures and die. And I'm like, they're bullshit. And I didn't feel well at all, but I just came off it on my own. I wasn't on it maybe long enough to have those effects. And I was on it for like a year. And now you feel good. Good. See? Oh, I'm talking to a whole different person now. But yes, Veronica, but you're feeling better off the meds. Squash Mode Squad Live. Hello. And Squash, I'm so sorry. Nice moon tonight, no chemtrails. Nice. You're the best. Yes, she is the best. She really is. Veronica. Yep, little sleep. Yeah, I'm on little sleep, but I can go without. I don't need it. Why, do I look tired for real? Someone said get rest. Like, really? I don't feel tired. I'm surprised if I look it. I've been getting rest. Last night, actually, I didn't sleep much. But, I don't start to, it doesn't start to catch up on me unless it's, days in a row. I look tired in the video from earlier, but that's from months ago. Yes, I watched the video. I was like, I look exhausted in this video. And I probably was. That's when I was, burning at both ends, chasing stories. Alright guys, so I'm going to start getting to... Oh. Yeah, I think my accent adds to it. No, but when I am tired, my accent, really like makes it obvious because it's already like a sloppy way of talking in the first place. But the person who said something about being tired knows me very well. She said get some rest. She knows me well. I mean, she's from Mark's channel, but she knows me well. I mean, I think we are on good terms. Yeah, Cactus Jane. Yeah, she's actually one of my oldest viewers. She's been on here forever. I love Cactus Jane. Alright, so let's get into some of these stories. I could put it so that you guys can see me, and I'm looking, I'm not tired at all. I'm not tired at all. I don't understand. Maybe she was talking to someone else. Okay, so, I get self-conscious about that. People say that sometimes. Did I lose? Okay. Alright. Let's see. Alright. Alright, so we already went over a lot of this, but we're going to touch on some of these, especially the bigger ones. Look at this lame. You guys know who he's the son of. He's the son of the Vanderbilt. Yeah, Vanderbilt, right? Vanderbilt. Am I getting it right? Am I getting it mixed up because of his name? Very wealthy family. But supposedly his mother broke away from the family. Which is another thing Dershowitz said on air before. You know what? We'll go to his story first. Another thing that Dershowitz said on air, protecting his ass, because I'm telling you right now, if this guy is putting up his $77 million or whatever, or $77 million might be the total amount of money, and then his mansion in New York City, he's willing to put that up, and then he's willing to put up his jet, and he's willing to put up his and what's that tell you right there? He's willing to do all that to stay out of jail. All right, because he's already. That's why Acosta, who is now the labor secretary. Well, a lot of these guys, they had a couple cases that made their career. They made their bones on. But when you look back on his career, he kind of dropped the ball with this one. All right, repeated child sex offender, human trafficker, with a little island, with a satanic temple on the top. All right, there's nothing cool about that. He let him off for everything that he was for everything that came up in that trial. All those poor little girls, they can't bring that stuff back up. That's it. It's just he's being tried out of New York now on totally different charges. I think it's different girls. I don't know if they can. Well, since he was found guilty, I guess they can bring all of that will be taken into account. However, so at least he got a guilty plea, and he has to register as a sex offender in the Virgin Islands. I mean, you know, it's like Acosta. You almost wonder, what did it cost you? You know what I mean? To pay him. I mean, damn. This guy, he got, what was it? He got an 18-month sentence, ended up doing 13 months, and it was in a jail that was the type of jail that you could leave for the whole day and go to work. He got to go to work every day, go to his office, you know, stop for a coffee on the way home and back to jail. I don't know what kind of jail this is. It sounds like one of those places that they send the white-collar crime people, I guess, which is ridiculous. You know, they should go, they commit the worst of crimes because they have the power. The people with power should be held I mean, I want to almost say even a higher like degree of if they are screwing around and corrupt, or especially trafficking humans and children, and fucking having all their billionaires come and do stuff with them, allegedly. Oh, no, not allegedly. He's already been convicted of this. He's a convicted pedophile. But he got a 13-month sentence with an ankle bracelet for half of it, walking around, going to work every day. 5 or 6 days a week he got to go to work, to his office and back to jail. What kind of crap? For what? You know, like if he was in there for some, like, you know, you set up some kind of scheme with money. I don't even like that. Because guess what? If the guy in the street, you know, does the equivalent, he's not, doesn't hurt anybody, but he, you know, has a business going, let's say. He's going down hard. I mean, of course, it's the lawyers that make all the difference, the money. But, come on. You get to go home every day after being found guilty and admitting and being a convicted sexual predator of children, and you go home to not even, you know, you go to work every day still, to your office, and what kind of message does that send? I mean, the worst of the worst. I don't care what it cost her. If he came out, he said, "Oh, I didn't have to come out and say this." Screw that guy. He's coming out. He's trying to get ahead of this. All right, he's a prosecutor. He knows the deal. Heads are about to roll. Names are about to be dropped. People are going to be asking, how did he not go down the first time? And I know it's a lot more difficult in federal court than it is in like state. I understand that aspect of it. But then he goes, I was worried I couldn't win the case. You couldn't win the case? If you couldn't win the case, trust me, this guy would have never pled. He would have never pled. He would have brought it to trial. He wouldn't have made a plea deal if he he was guilty. You had all these witnesses, children, friggin' all kinds of people that were willing to speak up. Adults as well. Not just children. But the children, that's the most powerful. Are you kidding me? It's powerful testimony. But it's alright. Acosta, I don't want to see him as a labor secretary anymore. I want to see him be punished in his own way. You know? He already is. He's already. People, I don't know if he did himself any favors today. Coming out and saying all that crap. Anyways, let's look into this scumbag. And then I'm gonna show you guys something, because Q has reemerged, and he's been talking about Epstein since the beginning. And Epstein was very closely linked with this Twitter / Instagram / every other crap, Snapchat and all that influencer, they're called now. Her name was Rachel Chandler. And Rachel Chandler happens to have a pretty interesting little past, and not in a good way. And we'll look into her too. She sounds like a victim turned accomplice. Okay, so attorneys for Jeffrey Epstein asked a Manhattan federal judge Thursday to allow the financier to await trial on this is after he's already gotten that kind of deal. Alright, to await trial on sex trafficking and conspiracy charges from the comforts and confines of his own home, offering up his multi-million-dollar Manhattan mansion and his private jet as collateral in a bail package worth up to $77 million. Woo! And you know what? I didn't even tell you what I wanted to say about Dershowitz, who was his lawyer, who got him that friggin' deal, who all of a sudden now is disgusted by the guy. You're the one who got him that deal, so he's back out on the street after 13 months. And he's really back on the street right away. But what I wanted to mention was that he goes, the way I met him was through Harvard parties, and I was introduced to him as a lawyer by Lady Rothschild, he said. That's when my antennas went up. I'm like, whoa, did he really just say that? He just said that on air recently. So he was introduced as a lawyer. So that means this is after Epstein knew that he's having trouble. Who's the one finding him? This lawyer. That's obviously Dershowitz is a great lawyer, but supposedly he, before, afterwards, at some point, had a little dabble in the fun himself. Except it wasn't just with women; it was with children, and that is what's been put out there for a while now. And he's been fighting those rumors. And there's a woman now, girl then, accusing him, and she's describing a lot of details, let's say, and it's all, and she was there on Epstein's island, and that's where it all took place, she says, which seems to match the stories of many. And another one of his very good friends on that island, Bill Clinton. Another one of his friends, Donald Trump. But then again, Donald Trump, even back then, there's an article where he goes, yeah, he likes, we talk about girls, but, he likes them a little younger than I do. She said that in an article back then. And then there was a story about Epstein, how Trump had to throw him out of Mar-a-Lago, and they haven't spoken since. And all these stories are out there way before any kind of presidency run. So Trump, they're going to try to connect him to Trump, but the real connection's Bill. And from what I'm hearing and seeing, any pictures of Epstein with Bill Clinton and the woman I've been telling you about, Rachel Chandler, and Bill Clinton, who at the time she was underage. She was like 16 in the picture, taking a picture with Bill Clinton on a jet on their way to Epstein Island. Those have been wiped from the internet as well. And then there's also a picture with Bill Clinton with a bunch of very influential people swimming in the waters off of this island called Epstein Island. No, that's what it's known as. I believe it's in the U.S. Virgin Islands, but I'd have to look. And supposedly all these photos are being wiped off the internet. Actually, not supposedly. I know for a fact the Bill Clinton ones are. Because everywhere that I was seeing it yesterday, I'm not seeing it today. It's like, it has been removed. Kind of like when a video gets taken down. Alright, so anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. The person who set Epstein up with Dershowitz, from Dershowitz's mouth, from his own interview just tonight with Laura Ingraham, was Lady Rothschild. He said it right out of his mouth. And they have mutual Harvard friends, stuff like that. Alright, in their argument for bail, Epstein's defense team claimed, there's a red pill for you, if there ever was one, right? Epstein defense team claimed that their client had long feared that federal prosecutors might pursue sexual abuse charges against him due to the toxic political climate. Yet, Epstein continually returned home from travel abroad, fully prepared to vindicate his rights under the agreement and otherwise mount a full-throated defense. So, I've known that this guy is, I didn't know that they were going to go after him again, but if I was to believe Q, which, I did at the time, then as of 2 years ago, I knew they were going to go after him eventually. It's one of the first major players Q talked about, and now they are. I feel like a lot of this stuff is coming to fruition. And he said, storm is here. Meaning no, not phase 1, not phase 2, phase 3. Storm is here. That's another thing with Q. So, I guess the answer is what we're gonna find out in these over this summer. If by, I'd say, this next November goes by or whatever, then it's over. It's done. There can't be anything else. I wouldn't believe it after that. Okay, so prosecutors claim Epstein, 66, paid underage girls, some as young as 14 years old, hundreds of dollars in cash. That's it? Hundreds? Like, what a scumbag. This guy's a billionaire. I thought they were going to say, like, thousands. But, you know, a lot of these girls, by the way, they weren't all your, you know, there were some American girls, but a lot of them didn't speak English. You know, the ones that he can take advantage of. The type of girls who get lost on these treks to come up here to America. You know, that's the real tragedy, is what happens on the way. I mean, they're raped by common men on their way. Forget about imagine if they're like especially beautiful, you know. Some creep like this is gonna pay some coyote. Hey, when you come across like the best looking child in 100, you know, grab her. I don't know, you know, like who knows how these guys do business. But they get a lot of these girls from these countries, you know, and where they're just, maybe they're born into a tough home where there's no father, the mother might have problems. Maybe they're born into a great home and they just get snatched up, or this guy got so much money that maybe there's something, I don't know. But all I know is that a lot of the girls didn't speak English. And yeah, and you can almost hundreds of dollars. So he's actually paying them for their services. I mean, they're essentially slaves, you know, in cash for massages before molesting them at his homes. So that maybe that's how he would get them there. Hey, you know, we're having a party. You know how to massage? Oh, you know, I'll give you some training, or this lady will train you. They think they're going there for that, and that's probably how they like it. These creeps, they probably like it, like if they're unsuspecting, you know. Some creepy stuff. The most powerful people in the world. When you get everything, and you have sick urges like this, it takes a little bit more to get you going. You know what I mean? They need like some kind of extra dominance in a way. You know? Some people, that's the reason they're that rich, is they have that urge to dominate this certain thing, you know? And it in sexual situations, it comes out in a sick way. That's why they're so surprised how many powerful people can be involved in this type of stuff. But it's the same thing that makes them powerful. That same oomph that makes them powerful, that also comes out in their sick sexual urges. That's just my opinion. If I was to, that's me putting them on a couch for a second, psychologically. So for massages before arresting them at their homes in New York and Palm Beach, Florida. So New York has brought up charges. The earlier charges, I guess, stemmed out of Florida. I believe so. From 2002 to 2005. So, wow. Well, I'm kind of confused about those dates, because he was at this in the 90s. But I guess that they can only say that like with proof, I guess. I don't know. He was arrested Saturday at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey after his arrival on a flight from Paris. Welcome home. So if you guys remember, I reported on that, and at the time I said he's gonna flip, and he is gonna flip. He probably already has flipped. He's probably already given so many names. What's there not to flip on? There's no honor amongst child molesters, you know? There's no honor amongst any of these guys anymore. So the only time you're gonna go down for real time, like life, 20 to life. It, mafia guys used to do that, and then they stopped even doing it. During a raid of the residence conducted by the FBI and NYPD after Epstein's arrest Saturday, this guy was ready. There's no way they found much. Wow, they did. Authorities said they found a trove of pornographic material featuring underage girls in a locked safe. I can't believe that. That just shows how sick he is. If I had seen this guy a year and a half ago, I would tell him what a scumbag sicko he is. So he knows people know this stuff about him. He knows there could be new charges brought up on him. And he still has safes? A trove of pornographic material? That's how you know they're sick. That's like they won't part with that. That's like it's like when a serial killer, keeps a trophy, So they film these poor girls as well. Reports compiled by New York Magazine suggest a house filled with oddities, including a lifelike human doll dangling from a chandelier. I'm telling you guys, this wasn't just regular molestation. I'm telling you guys, what was connected to this was satanic ritual like. Now you can do. Unfortunately, I've looked at all this type of stuff, like not this stuff, but satanic rituals when they're done. Like remember summer solstice? I was telling you guys that's a huge day for blood sacrifice. They do blood sacrifice magic, sex sacrifice magic. All and there's a third one. I can't think of, but those are the main two. Those are the main two usually. Sex, blood. Yeah, but yeah, they a house filled with oddities. That's their way. I want to click on that after. And human-sized chessboard. You guys know what that is, right? The chessboard, what that represents. If you don't, go to your local masonry and just look at the floor. Really, watch a bunch of movies. Look at the movies. They put it right in your face. Once you know it, the black and white duality. It's like a checkerboard, black, white. That design on the floor, that design, period, anywhere, is bad news. It's related to masonry, also satanic. It's some kind of satanic symbolism. It probably represent. I know for a fact it represents the duality in all of us. Which is weird though. So including a lifelike human doll dangling from a chandelier and a human-sized chessboard. So I don't think he's just repping the masonry stuff. Do they actually use this floor for actual human like who knows what kind of crazy with scantily clad figurines modeled after his employees. Oh, that's weird. Bizarre art, porn, and dolls inside Jeffrey Epstein's New York house of horrors. Wow, he didn't get rid of all this crazy shit. Epstein's lawyers. See, I love it. This is why I don't read the stories until I'm live. You know what I mean? I didn't know all this. I didn't know all this part of it. I find the stories, and then I honestly, I go by headline, and I try to mix it up. I try to get I don't just like to ever get all my news from one place. I try to get my news from various different places. Even that means going to other countries and going to their sources, you know? Unless it's too much propaganda. Sometimes it can be too much propaganda. But we have just as much, folks. Don't fool yourself. If you haven't heard me say it 1,000 times, check out the Smith-Mundt Act, M-U-N-D-T, Smith-Mundt Act. That was the act that banned propaganda in the United States of America. Yeah, makes sense, right? We don't have propaganda here. Well, that was lifted in 2013 by Obama. So, yes, we do. Ever since then. Look it up. Mind picking that red pill I just dropped up for me? Epstein's lawyers said their client, a level 3 registered sex offender, would agree to have his location electronically monitored, surrender his passport, ground his jet, and hire private security to monitor him and ensure that he did not. So, who would hire the security? He would? That's weird. And ensure, I mean, he's going to need the security for many reasons. He probably always has, really, especially since Q came out. And ensure that he did not abscond, if I'm pronouncing that correct, for any of you law people out there, abscond to avoid prosecution. Abscond. Obviously, it means violate his orders to. I remember something about he would have to stay in his home except for doctor appointments. So he's gonna have a lot of doctor's appointments all of a sudden. But that's what they're proposing. His team of lawyers. That's what they're gonna propose Monday, from what I understand. But we'll get to that. Prosecutors have argued that Epstein, who also owns a private island, so they've already had a hearing on this, but I think they assigned another date because we're talking about jets, private security, even just to get the monitoring device. People think they just put it on that day and walk out. Well, maybe in some courthouses, but other ones that I've seen, they've had to come back a different day and set that stuff up. So they've argued that Epstein, who also owns a private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands, should remain in jail until his trial because he posed an extraordinary risk of flight and danger. They pointed to the wealthy businessman's nearly infinite means and tremendous incentives to use those means to flee prosecution. After Epstein pleaded not guilty to charges that can put him away for up to 45 years. So I guess this can't be the New York mansion. This got to be the island. Yeah, this is the island. I know this. Yep, I know this from the videos. Yeah, this is the island. But that's just one fixture of the island. They have this satanic symbol, and of course it's a cube, and there's something to that too, the cube, and what that represents. And in fact, that's one of the building blocks of technology is built off of that. The cube and the D wave that keeps it going is very similar to the cube spoken of. It's one of the things that people kind of point to when they talk about the D-Wave machine. Hey, let's finish that. The New York Times reports that U.S. District Judge Richard M. Berman, who will preside over Epstein's cases, refused a similar bail proposal by attorneys for a defendant in 2016 money laundering case. saying it was unreasonable because it helps to foster inequity and unequal treatment in favor of a very small cohort of criminal defendants who are extremely wealthy, which is exactly what I was trying to say. I mean, just look at the sentence this guy got. He already got his break. You know? Now, while I check on chat real quick, I do want to go back and look at some of that stuff that they're talking about, because this was actually, this particular article wasn't released that long ago. 3 chairs and the book in the middle. Huh, hold on a second. What does that mean? 3 chairs in the... Oh, Angel, is everything okay? You know, if you guys like just want to talk about other channels in the chat, that's fine. And is everything okay, Angel Eyes? What's going on? No insurance will take you. You have cancer. Oh my God, Angel Eyes. I had no idea, Angel Eyes. And you're in pain? By the way, when I talk about another channel, I'm not even talking about you, West Virginia, but I think you guys know what I mean. You know what I mean? If that's the case, just go there. You know, no one has to announce it, alright? I definitely don't care about anyone subbing to my subs, so that's, nobody think I'm talking about that. I'm talking about people coming in and talking about other channels, being live. You know, that's no need for that. Gloria Vanderbilt, yeah, and she just died recently. Oh wow. What is this? I subbed. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, there's a bunch more news. But I was just looking at the some of the stuff being said in there. I don't really like some of it, but I just want to say I am so sorry, Angel Eyes. I had no idea. Okay, so let's check. I want to check out some of this. Oh yeah, there's a lot more news. I mean, I'm not even done with this guy. I want to look at some of this sick crap in his house. Let's see. A house filled with oddities. Private island of sin and sex dolls. 5 weird details to know. Ooh. Jeffrey Epstein's opulent New York mansion said to contain bizarre, disturbing art. The extravagant home of The extravagant home of financier and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein reportedly contains a plethora of odd and disturbing art pieces, including a collection of prosthetic eyeballs and a painting of Epstein in a prison yard. I'm sorry. I didn't see that coming. I mean, these Satanists, they I bet you they can probably see the future or something. Their crystal balls or whatever they do. Epstein has been arrested on, was he talking about his hard time? His 13 months. Did he get his prison tat for that? He had to go home and sleep in jail every night after going out to work and as extravagant office in New York City. And then go home to jail. Real tough. I had to stay in jail over the weekend. Oh my God. Of Epstein in a prison yard. Wow. Alright. Epstein has been arrested on charges. There's nothing funny about this. It's just, what a, wow. That's something. Epstein has been arrested on charges of sex trafficking, and authorities have found a collection of pornography believed to contain images of children stored inside his New York estate. In fact, they know that's exactly what it is. I remember when Q first brought this stuff up, people started digging on this guy. Then they started digging on the island. And then they started getting these. They were guys in the 4chan who were so skilled. They really did amaze me. They were able to tap into video footage, and they were able to grab the security footage from his own cameras that I guess are being used against him in court. But I'm telling you, for a while, unfortunately, there was a lot of disturbing stuff when Epstein came up. Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of secret rooms. But anyways, Jeffrey Epstein has kept a low profile, best he can, since he was required to register as a sex offender in 2008 after receiving a the most lenient of all lenient deals from, how much did it cost you, Acosta. He's the current Secretary of Labor, hopefully not for long. How much did it cost you, Acosta, for allegedly paying girls for sexual massages. Since being hit with new charges for alleged sex trafficking crimes, bizarre details of the 66-year-old's mysterious life have been swept out from the shadows. Oof. Bizarre art, porn, and dolls inside Jeffrey Epstein's New York House of Horrors. Here are 5 weird details to know about Epstein. Collector of prosthetic breasts, dolls, and other oddities. This is pure, I'm telling you. You want to see Satanism in action? You think that this satanic ritual abuse, like, friggin' Pizzagate crap, you think it's fake? I don't. This is the first sign of it. This is as close to the truth as we're gonna get. Someone huge like this going down. Huge. Epstein kept an assortment of peculiar items in his Manhattan mansion, from a lifelike human doll dangling from a chandelier. I mean, how did he explain that to guests? Oh yes, and that's just it's art. I guess these days in New York City, it wouldn't be the craziest thing. To a human-sized chessboard. I mean, why don't they just say what it is? They know better. Maybe because they're part of it as well. Fox News, they're probably the closest to the truth on some things, but they're just as bad. They're owned by the same type of scum that do the same type of crazy crap, involved in the same little groups. It's just politically, it matches, it goes with what they want. So, they seem like they're being forthcoming. Now, you're not going to see this type of stuff on the CNN. And the only way you will is if it somehow they talk about the connections to Donald Trump. Which is unfortunate. Shouldn't just news be news? We live in a crazy time. Other oddities include individually framed prosthetic eyeballs mounted along a hallway. Guys, this isn't those brochures you pick up in the grocery store. You say all the crazy crap. No, this is we got NBC News, Fox News, New York Magazine. Oh yeah, and the scantily clad figures modeled after his employees. Did I miss that? He kept prosthetic breasts by a bathtub that he could play with while bathing. Woof. Jennifer Aroaz, a woman who claims she was abused, and I bet you she was. Just by the last name, I know she was, because it's like 90% of them were Hispanic, from what I understand. But there was also 10% that were Americans as well. A woman who claims she was abused and raped by Epstein when she was just 15 years old told NBC News in a recent interview that she said there were also photos of naked women hanging in a massage room. Prison yard mural inside home. This is the best. Oh man, this is the best. Okay, in addition to a heated sidewalk that would melt snow during the winter, Epstein's 7-story Manhattan residence held a mural he had commissioned of a prison yard with the wealthy financier standing in the center, the New York Times reported. The painting is described as photorealistic, complete with barbed wire, corrections officers, and a guard station. Corey Hay told the Times that Epstein had invited him over to view the mural. He said Epstein had the prison scene painted to serve as a reminder of the possibility that could be me again. Dude, you never really lived it like that. You got to go home at the end of the day after being at work, and your home happened to be a so-called prison that probably had 5-star meals. You know what I mean? Come on, a nice fluffy bed. This guy, oh man, a pillow. That's something they don't tell you. You don't get a jail. You don't get a pillow when you go to jail. You know what I mean? Oh, this guy. All right. So, I wonder if I can play this for you. So the mystery behind his fortune. Maybe they'll get into what I heard Dershowitz talking about. How Epstein obtained his fortune has remained unclear. Well, I think that's kind of how it goes. When you're willing to get your hands that dirty, the people who really run the world, they're going to make sure you have an island, a jet, all the things he had, a mansion in New York City. You're going to have it all. When you're part of those clubs, it's probably most likely a Mason, definitely satanic. So he's right in there. The Rothschilds got him a lawyer. I mean, he's in. He's in with the Rothschild. Enough said. He's been described as a billionaire or wealthy financier. Am I reading that? Though the exact amount of his wealth has yet to be ascertained. He previously ran a money management firm from the exceedingly rich, his most notable client being billionaire businessman Les Wexner, according to Bloomberg. He began his career working for Bear Stearns in 1976 before setting up his own money managing business in 1981, which only catered to billionaires. And only billionaires are into this type of crazy crap with human-sized chessboards with friggin' figurines of the people who work for them. Good, we got a call. So I'll take calls. I've only gotten to my first story. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's why you didn't get on the air, you clown. Alright? Yeah, no one can hear you. Get a life. You got nothing better to do. You got nothing better to do. This guy's the same loser, this kid, right? And he tells, well, I got money. Oh man. This same freaking loser calls me every night. I think you guys are crush on me. But bro, I'm not into that. Alright? So just keep to yourself. I know you like to call me at 2:14 a.m. over here. Alright? But, you know, you need to get off my... I'm a small channel. He can't get enough of the channel. He wants to call me, do all this stuff. But I know exactly who it is by his voice. His wannabe gangster voice. Anyways, I'll continue. And by the way, if somebody real wants to call in, feel free. Don't feel like you're interrupting the story. Because this is still my first story. I'll talk. I'll just keep going. You know what I mean? That's what I do. I set up material. This is made to be a call-in show. But then, you know, everybody wanted to redirect everyone to another show. So I guess people can just watch the playback. And, you know what? So yeah, you guys can read the rest right there, right? Okay. Hold on, let me check out what's going on. The thing is though, they have like scramblers, they'll call from different states. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Alright, I'll put you up. The red pill dispensary. What do you got? Ah, you thought I really put you live, you clown. You think I don't know your voice by now? You think I don't know your voice by now, you clown? You think I would just put you on live? Huh? You think you're gonna get my video taken down? You think you're gonna get my video? You're not. You can't outsmart me. What do you think you are? You're just some kid sitting up. I want to know who pays you. Who pays you to go through all this trouble to mess with my stream? Who's paying you? That every night that I'm on, you literally stay up to this hour to call me and mess up my stream. So I start swearing at you because you know that I'm a real. I'm not even gonna swear. You know I'm a real mother. Okay? You know that, and you know I'll fucking tear your head off with my teeth and words. And but you're trying to get my video taken down. It ain't gonna happen. You're just a creep, bro. You're a creep. Stop calling me. Stop calling me. You're a creep. You're the same voice. There's your voice. There's your voice. You're the redneck. Then there's like the fake gangster. It's you two. It's always you two. And you're the one with the scrambler, and you call from different states. Oh yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah, this is a good one, man. No one can hear you. All right, no one can hear you. You got my wife on the other line. I don't have a wife. Never had one. So have fun with her. I don't know her. Now this might be a real call, unless he's using his screen. See, I'm about to shut it down. I guess I won't do calling shows. Hello. All right. Thank you. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I know. I don't want to get the video taken down. You know what I mean? And that's what happens. Well, it doesn't matter. None of my videos get monetized, so I'm not worried about that. They demonetize my. I can make a video of me smiling and then put it up, and they'll demonetize it, and then remonetize it after 3 days. But yeah, I know. I usually fight. I'm not gonna fight with you. All right. Who's this, by the way? Oh, how you doing? How you doing? All right, I'll just continue with the story. All right. If you want to be on that at any time, call in, because I don't think I've ever had you on live. But that's everyone. I like to lurk myself. I don't like to call in too much. I became comfortable after a while with on another show, but well, they get me just angry enough that my videos get down. Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right. Bye. I'm not. It's unfortunate. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it's because of honestly the first guy. He has a reason to be pissed. He tried messing with me. He said something, and the first time he called, I'll never forget. He goes, "That's why all you veterans deserve to die." So he ended up having some messed up equipment. I promised him it would happen. He ended up, I'm not even gonna say, but he is not happy. He has a reason not to be happy. Let's just say that. But the second guy, who's like really creepy, because he calls from different states and has like a scrambler, man, he's wicked racist. Always saying the N word. The other one says the N word like, yo, mine. It's different. The way this guy says it, it's like, he hangs the eye for like a few seconds after. And this guy's disgusting. He literally stays up, watches my show until this hour, and then calls and calls and calls and calls to the point where I can't even take calls on a show. Now here is the satanic little temple he has I was telling you guys about. But we'll get right to that in 1 second. So for the first guy, I know why you're mad. But that's why you don't talk about veterans, especially crypto veterans. That's why you don't do that. All right, buddy? You got me? That's what happens when you say that veterans should die on Memorial Day. To a crypto, all right? All you get everything. I know you're mad. But to the other guy, I don't know what your deal is. Because I made you look like a sissy a couple times? I don't know. Other than that, what's your deal? Like, are you obsessed with me? What is it? I don't understand. It's getting old, though. It's getting old. Calling me every show like a weirdo. Wicked weird. Motherfucker. And I just wanted to show you, by the way, because I think that you actually thought I was like black this whole time. Because I don't really understand like what your whole thing is. I don't understand you. I don't get. The other one, I get. He wanted to be a troll one day, and he paid for it. You have some scrambler. You have all this crap. They're not your real numbers, so it's different. I'll get you. You're going to keep messing with me, buddy. I'll get you. Trust me. I promise I will. Okay, so let's check out this. Now, this is nuts. Island of Sin. Now, I know I've spent the whole show. We went over everything at the beginning, but I feel like this was the most legit news. The rest is like fluff to me. This is the most legit news. Well, this and the fact that somebody that I trust with earthquakes, Dutch Since, and I didn't mention this earlier, before we get into this, someone I trust with that stuff, he said that, sir? Yeah, I can hear you. How you doing? Oh, what's up? What do you got? All right. Yeah? Yeah, you live on? Hold on. I just had to make sure you're with you. Hold on. All right, this is Red Pill Dispensary. How you doing, Kevin? All right. What do you got? I mean, I think he's done. But it's just a matter of who does he flip and tell on. Yeah. All right, hold on. I just wanted to make sure you were legit. I have to do this stuff. I'm sorry, but I had to do it. They can try to see you and where you're from, so they can easily mask it. All right, hold on. All right. All right. Sorry, I had to kind of. I hate. I had to do that to my own viewer. I'm sorry about that, buddy. But I know you understand. This is the Red Pill New Dispensary.
What's up, guys? Yeah, second time caller. Wanted to come in and talk about this Epstein stuff.
And we're talking to
Talking to Kevin from Chicago.
Kevin from Chicago. How you doing, brother? I remember you. Just wanted to make sure it was you, because people call from all these different. They can call from any state, you know.
Yeah, there's a couple trolls out there trying to. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, one of them I understand why he's mad, but I mean, he's a troll. The other one, I don't know. He must get paid to do it. He must. Otherwise, it makes no sense. But yeah, go ahead, bro. What do you think? I mean, right now, as you're talking, I'm bringing up this temple he got. All right, this is a temple that he has on that island. It's wicked creepy, and it, supposedly this is where some of the worst stuff went down. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an owl right there, and it has an owl overlooking it. These like weird figures on either side of the doorways. It looks like anything like Egyptian looking. It has a gold dome. You know what I mean? It's like Israeli / Egyptian looking, but it's just a cube, which is usually a sign of some kind of satanic symbol or something like that. And the owl, like for instance, you ever hear of the in California they have the meetings? What are they called? The meetings they have in California out in the woods.
You know
what I'm talking about. I just my head.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It'll come to me in a second. But anyways, they burn a. This is when Alex Jones got actual footage of it. They burn a huge owl, like a 30, 40-foot owl. And they make it out of all this stuff, and then they burn it, and they do these like chants and stuff. And these you would think these are a bunch of kooks, but these are really like the heads of the biggest companies and presidents of the biggest countries in the world. And it's unbelievable. It's the most powerful people in the world doing these crazy ritualistic type stuff. You know, what is it called? That's gonna
I'm
kill
trying
me.
to look it up now. It's gonna bother me.
It's gonna kill me until I say it. Yeah, I'll get it right now. Let me see. Secret California meeting in woods. That'll tell me. Why can't I Bohemian Grove. Duh.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, I knew it. Like I've talked about it probably 1,000 times, but sometimes at this hour I can't think. So Bohemian Grove, they burn a huge owl. There's actually a name for it. I believe it's Moloch, something like that. Moloch.
Oh, Malik.
Malik, yes, yeah. And then it looks like on the other side of the temple, it would make sense if that's a phoenix. That's why if you ever see anything with a phoenix, especially a phoenix on fire, like phoenix rising, as you might hear, things like that, that's symbolic as well. Like that's another satanic type of thing. So that could be what that is. It looks like something like that. But yeah, creepy stuff. It's really creepy stuff here. So you think that Do you think they're even gonna give him? Do you think he might get his little his bail? Putting up a jet, a mansion, 77 mil.
I don't know, man. When it comes to legal stuff, that's way past my expertise.
See now, yes, I'm with you. In some ways, in other ways, no. But I'm with you though. But the only thing about it is this: it's that this judge had another billionaire in front of him, and he was in front of him just for money laundering, and he tried to make a similar type of plea. Now I know each judge is supposed to take each case different, but that's just not the way things are. Judges are human, and humans have tendencies, and judges have tendencies, which is why there's there's conservative judges and liberal judges. And this judge is the type of judge that doesn't like to give the rich guy that extra, that the poor man ain't gonna get that bail. They're not gonna get off on these type of charges. They're gonna sit in jail until they have trial if you're poor. So he likes to be equal. He doesn't like the inequity of it. So according to this judge's past, when he's been put in this situation, which he was a couple years ago, he told the rich guy, nope, I'm not doing it. I don't care what you put up. And that was for money laundering. This is a lot more serious, and
So he burned them. He made them pay.
He made the rich man sit in jail, like the rest of us would. So I already respect this judge. So
Well, that's a good sign.
yeah. So what do you think about, as far as I asked you on the phone before I put you live? What do you think as far as do you think that there's names left? And he's got to have one of those little black books, right? He's got to have a client list. It sounds like this was a pedophile's dream island,
Yeah, it does. I had read something about that. Like, there's a little black book, and it had a bunch of names in it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And there was like a vault. They found a vault with like 1,000 different girls or something, more than that.
I just read that, a vault with and this I couldn't believe it, because I've been hearing about this guy since Q came out 2 years ago, right? And it's like, had I seen him, I'd recognize him by his face. I'd know his face right away, because I've done more research on this guy. And right away I'd be like, you're a scumbag, you know what I mean? And that's just me, just some guy. I mean, he had to have known. I mean, he even, in his own paintings, has himself in the middle of a prison yard. Yet he's that sick that he needs those trophies of those underage girls, video of them.
Yeah.
I mean, right there, he's not escaping. You have your axe on, and the thing is, supposedly there's rumors that the guy I was talking with, Alan Dershowitz, might be in one of those videos with one of the girls. So that would be interesting to look at. I think a lot of big names are going to come into this, and people are going to be shocked. And one of them, the biggest name, supposedly, is going to be Bill Clinton, because they definitely were buddies. They definitely went to this island together a lot. And Bill Clinton likes his ladies. I didn't know if he liked them young or not, but who knows?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, exactly. If there's one person that wouldn't surprise me, it'd be Bill Clinton. And even there's been stuff said about Hillary and him Abdeen being in a video. It's all kinds of rumors that go around, but this is the type of stories that makes me realize that what seemed like crazy conspiracy theory at one time was all real. It was all, not all, but the segment of it was real. With the child sex trafficking, the sex ritual abuse, like ritualistic, like Satan worship. And they're at the top of the pyramid, these people. And they're the sickest ones. You know,
Yep.
they're not just some hard-working, honest person who made it to the top. You know, no. They're sick, and they're funded by people who are even sicker. It's sad.
This Malik stuff, I was looking into that, and it's definitely, I definitely think there's some child sacrifice going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
In that little temple thing.
Yeah, that's creepy, man. That temple. I'm telling you, that's what they said. A lot of the weird stuff will go down, and that makes sense. To what it looks like, it looks like it's, you know, oof.
Yeah. I mean, a big island, no one's around.
I know.
Just, oh man, that's.
And you own the island, you know. He probably had his own security, meaning, you know, naval security. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
You know, you would need like a U.S. Navy ship to like cloak itself from radar and sneak in there, you know, or you know, the U.S. Navy SEALs to like swim under. They can just swim with tanks and just swim all the way up to the island, on like the backside, and get up in there. I don't know. I'm curious what the raid was like. I saw some video today of like the National Guard. They've been really stepping up their efforts. I don't know if you heard of the biggest cocaine bust in history was made while Biden was giving his speech in Philadelphia. It was made in the port in Philadelphia, and turns out it was a bunch of shipping containers, and the person who owned those shipping containers and the ship was the same owners as Chase Bank and J.P. Morgan. It's just unbelievable. These people, they're the ones doing everything. And then there's another video that just came out from yesterday of this like submarine. They had made this submarine, and they're in a submarine, like a small submarine, stuffed with drugs, bringing it up to America. It's unbelievable. You know, pull up on a coast somewhere and unload it and get out of Dodge in a submarine. It's unbelievable.
That's just the ones they caught, man. There's probably so many.
That's what I'm saying. But it was nuts. There was like this. I guess he was Coast Guard. So this Coast Guard man, he must be like, you know, the Coast Guard elite. You know, he jumped. They had, you know, from there, they would come up closer on a small, not one of their big ships, but on a smaller boat, a boarding vessel, you know, heavily armed, that would have like a 50 cal on it, all of it, and more, all kinds of technology, and they wouldn't stop. They kept going, and they wouldn't open the hatch. They kept saying, open the hatch, in all different languages. And finally, he just jumped and landed on top of the hatch and started smashing it with his weapon, and got it open and dragged the guy up out of it. It was crazy. It's like as the submarine was going. I'll have to pull up that video. It's pretty.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was nuts. I couldn't believe it.
That's what we need more of that, man.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. Yeah, they're doing some like John Wayne shit to get the drugs. You know, it's pretty good. You know, I mean, oh, here it is right here. So. Oh, this is not the video? Alright, hold on. Oh wait, it says video. Okay. So this is from the U.S. Coast Guard. So I don't think they...
It's gonna be hard to get on! Autodebarco!
me know when the video is done for you. If you're watching. Or could you not watch while you're on the phone?
No, I'm watching. I'd say right now.
Alright.
It looks like they're surrounding them on both sides.
Yeah.
And the dude's jumping on top while it's still moving.
Yeah. It's a legit submarine. With a
Holy
hatch.
shit.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They're not playing. And that's why I think, like, this Q stuff, it just seems to be getting realer and more realistic as time goes. Now that I saw Epstein go down, that was a huge one for me. And then, you know, not just that, but like seeing Brennan, Comey, and Loretta Lynch all turning on each other. It's like, well, that's exactly what Q said would happen. Like, is this all real this whole time? Because they're always in the back of my head. I'm like, there's something not right. This is just too crazy. It would be the biggest thing that ever happened if this was real. You know what I mean? If they're actually gonna bring down all these elites, and you know, there really is all this crooked, like satanic crap going on. Well, from what we see already, just from tonight, what I've read, it's there. This stuff is going on, and then you hear the lawyer of this guy talking about that he met him through Lady Rothschild. I mean, I couldn't make this up if I tried. It's just unbelievable. The chessboard in his house. I mean, I don't know if you know. That's like on any mate. You go into like a Masonic temple, and you'll see them everywhere. I was actually behind one Mason today in traffic, and I beeped at him and I drove on the side and gave him the finger. I probably shouldn't have done that, but he has no idea why I'm doing it. But anyway, so, you know, yeah, maybe he did. So, but when you go in their temples, and they're not all bad. I know people who are Masons. I knew it then. I just didn't understand what being a Mason was about. It's more the upper tiers where the trouble supposedly is. Like, you can go up to the 33rd degree. And these 33rd degree Masons, at that point, supposedly, you're taken into a room and you have to denounce God and accept Satan and all that. Whereas before that, the only requirement was to believe in a God, didn't matter which God, at the lower levels. You know what I mean? But once you get to the high levels, it becomes about, you know, denouncing Lord God, the Creator, and serving Satan, which they end up doing. I mean, they don't make it to that point without being that type of person that would submit to that. And you would be surprised. Some of the most famous singers, actors. I mean, that's why they just had this Nivixum, or however you pronounce it, that case, and that was a bunch of Hollywood actors and actresses that were also tied to Scientology, and they all went down for a sex trafficking ring. And they actually had like a little cult all built around this guy Rainier, Keith Rainier, and he branded them all with his initials. And it doesn't look like his initials, but when you turn it like upside down, and just like it says in the Bible, when you know, they will put things backwards and upside down. That's what he basically does with his initials, and he brand them right above their genitals, and he would brand them with an iron. It's just some sick stuff. I mean, these are famous people, like the girl from Smallville. You ever see that girl? Allison Mack?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
I heard
her. And you know what I mean? These are actors that you'd know. And so they went down, and then when they went down, all of a sudden, the head of Scientology and the wife of the head of Scientology were nowhere to be found. And then there started being arrests within the Scientology community. And I think some of that's still yet to come as well. So there's a lot of that crap that people were saying a couple of years ago that is all of a sudden in the news now and real. You know? People kind of thought...
I gotta look up that Q guy, because I heard a lot about it. I heard a lot of people saying,
yeah.
You know, Eddie Bravo is real big on Q.
Yeah. Oh, he is? I didn't know he is. He is?
Yeah, every time in an interview with Eddie Bravo, he's always mentioning Q.
Eddie Bravo from what's it called? What's his name? The fighter, right?
He's like a jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu. Yeah. He works with the bigger one. I can't think of anything. I can't like recall.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. Yeah, I always try. I love Joe Rogan shows. I find it interesting. He's very good at like letting people kind of really listening. He's way more intelligent than I ever thought.
Yeah.
But yeah. But Q's amazing. But it just depends. Like right. If you look on the screen right now, I got. So you want to go? You can go to like Q.map. It's like it's hard to find his actual sites. But here's one of them. Here's the one I've used. There's another one that supposedly like has a lot more bells and whistles. But this one's like old, reliable, and it works. And it's always been Q. And I trust it because I've used it the same website for over 2 years. So I know it's secure. I know it's legitly like whoever this is. You know what I mean? Like it's not like so QAnon.pub, P-U-B. Q, you'll see it in my search bar right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I see it. It's not pulling up yet.
Yeah. So, he all of a sudden reemerged, which is what I was about to get in next. I'm about to get into that one next. First, I'm going to go back because, look at, he even talks about, look at Gold Standard coming back, because that's what I think the big news is going to be. Some real big news is that I think they're gonna switch the currency and back it by something a little more solid, like gold, and then make it, and then also make it kind of like use the same technology that they use on the cryptocurrency, which the cryptocurrency isn't exactly valuable. It's the blockchain's technology behind it that really makes it valuable. You know what I mean? And then how they kind of interpret that blockchain. So,
dude, Q's not his website layout is too clear. It's kind of like all over the place.
I know it just goes. I know that's the thing. Like in real time, it just goes by dates, right? And you're right. It's not all over the place, but you can like search at the top. You can search. So type to filter. Like so, for instance, right? I was looking for Epstein, so I'll type him in, and it'll bring up. Wow, it looks like, see, a lot of times he doesn't actually spell out Epstein. He'll do something. He'll do like initials. So his initials would be J-E. Let's see how that works. J. Let's see. Yeah, he like puts him in like code. He talks about the island and maybe if I just put island. But does it matter that I'm capping it? Oh, look at this. July 9th, 2019. Oh, okay, so here's a more recent. Welcome to Epstein Island. Ask yourself, is this normal? What does a temple... Oh, see, I didn't even read this yet. So here we go. What does a temple typically symbolize? What does an owl symbolize? And then in parentheses, dark religion. Tunnels underneath? Question mark. Usually the answer is yes. You know what I mean? It's a way of, if it really is like military intel, it's a way of giving you intel without giving it to you. You have to get it. You have to kind of reach this yourself. How many channels captured on RC's pick? See, that might mean nothing to somebody else, but to me, that means Rachel Chandler. Rachel Chandler is somebody that he's had people watching forever. So rooms indicate size. Hallways shown? Question mark. class 1 to 99. So basically, what he's basically trying to say is like categorize them or classify into, from 1 to 99. Symbolism will be their downfall. These people are evil. So there's this video attached. Yeah, and I think it will be with the owl. There it is on the top of the island right there. Tunnel entrance. So there's tunnels underneath. You can tell too. Look at the mountain, and look at the road leads there. And that's definitely a tunnel entrance. You can tell. That's second. Yeah, look, even from this angle, look, you can even see, like, it's like a tunnel or something. They can see, like, the roof to it. Wow, that was crazy. Oh, and here's the guy who left them off. How much did it cost you at Acosta? I'm not going to play it, but, he did a presser today trying to defend why this guy's even walking the streets. And, why he had such a lenient sentence. And he said, I didn't think we had a case on him, which is bull. They had all kinds of kids willing to testify and everything. So that's some of Q right there. And then, Q, owl symbolism. But so someone knew this might open their eyes. You know what I mean? Like, that's not new to me. And plus, so he just posted that 2 days ago. Look at it, March 20th, 2019. Epstein Island dungeon beneath the temple. Sex and torture rooms. Openly flaunt across social media. Untouchable? Question mark.
Not untouchable. Yeah.
He doesn't make statements like that normally, unless he's backing it up. You know what I mean? When he makes a statement like that, it usually gets backed up at some point. Untouchable? He's letting you know. Oh, we got him. He's in our crosshairs, and we got him. August 15th, 2018. This is a long time ago. This is like a year ago. So essay. So what I think this is like for deep state and things like that. So Saudi Arabia access closed. So they kind of cut the head off of that monster, and they set that prince up. The new prince they got there. This is back like a couple years ago. There was Saudi princes dying left and right, but they were all trying to take each other out. And Trump allied up with one of them, and probably used U.S. intelligence and helped him take out his other cousins. Because they were trying to take him out, and the U.S. intelligence helped save his life a couple times, probably. I know they saved his life, like in Vegas. That shooting that happened in Vegas, one of the biggest murder counts ever. Well, he was in Vegas that night, and one of the other Saudi princes owned not just that hotel, but the top floors where the shooter was. And they said they just dumped it all on this poor Patsy, and it was really about killing this prince here. And yep, and the other prince ended up dying like a month or two later. So, so this is like so then Epstein Island, access closed. Haiti, access closed. North Korea, access closed. China, access closed. Russia, access closed. Cuba, access closed. Sudan, access pending. Government, Saudi Arabia and U.S. push. Syria, access pending. Government. Yemen, access pending. Government, Saudi Arabia, U.S. push. Libya, access pending. Main port closed and it's limited. Somalia, access pending. Saudi Arabia, U.S. push. So Saudi Arabia is a huge ally in all of this. Let's see what else.
Dropping the hint. I like it how he does it. A little subtle.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
to the
Big time.
point.
Yep. And then this one. What did I put in? Oh, island. Where does this say island? So I think this is a standard deviation. That's like that's a term that's used like in trying to figure out probability. That's something that he talks about a lot. Like how many times? Like he has a lot of proofs. That's what he'll do too. They'll say, people will say, all right, well, have Trump say this, and Trump will say it, something like totally silly, and like doesn't even make sense, but he'll find a way to like slip it into a tweet or in a speech. Stuff like that happens all the time. There's been so many of those. So I recommend even going to like Q proofs. Look up Q proofs. That's what they're called. And there'll be so many, they'll blow your mind. I mean, if you really want to get to the meat right away, I go to that. And then, that way you can kind of like take the speculation out of your mind and really enjoy it. But autist, hot or cold. Now, autists, that's like the people on 4chan. I mean, they almost like call themselves autists, like autistic, because they, like an autistic person can like be so brilliant and focus in a crazy way. And, that's how they talk on those things. It's just a way of kind of like waving their free speech in a way. If somebody's like really good at like tracking planes, they call them a plane fag. If you're really good at, I don't know, code, you could be a crypto fag. You know what I mean? Like they talk like that. So, but calculate probability. What is the mathematical probability that a rogue missile launched at or near the runaway plane? Was he a trained pilot? How fast did intercept occur? Think missile intercept. Oh, so when did this happen? Is this when? A runaway near the runaway plane. Think aircraft. Outside of standard deviation, do people travel to islands to fish? How many billionaires own islands? How many billionaires live on islands? GOT, clandestine. So that one's a little more cryptic. Although at the time, whatever was going on in the news would have made that make more sense. Oh, and this is nuts, right? This is like one of the. I mean, look at all this. These are all the banks, right? U.S. Federal Reserve is a privately owned company sitting on its very own patch of land, immune to the U.S. laws. Most people don't know that. And the same goes for all these banks. Look at, there's even a central bank in Iran. So, all these countries, they're all controlled by the same powers. Anyone who tries to have their own. So the Fed and the IRS. Alright, so hold on. Oh, this is one of his how old is this? November 11, 2017. So we're talking, this is when he first came out. So do you want me to answers? Oh, you can put answers. Oh, you can have the answers here.
That's Rothschild Bank.
Oh yeah, a lot of them, most of them. So hard to swallow. So this is back in 2017. This is one of his hard to swallow, important to progress. Who are the puppet masters? And this is how he kind of puts it. House of Saud, 6 plus plus plus. Rothschild, 6 plus plus. Soros, 6 plus. So you see, it didn't say all this. All it said was, at the time, all it said was plus plus plus, plus plus plus. You know, that's all it said. But over time, the answers were put in. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So it's like it was way more cryptic before. So focus on above 3. So it didn't say like the 666, the sixes. All right, and then the 4 trillion for the House of Saud, 2 trillion Rothschild, 1 trillion Soros. Public wealth disclosures, false. Many governments of the world feed the eye. Think slush funds, feeder. Think war, feeder. These are things that feed the eye. Think environmental pacts, feeder. Triangle has 3 sides. That was worded totally different. The eye of providence. That's the all-seeing eye. That's on our dollar bills. You know, just that eye above the pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called the eye of providence. Follow the bloodlines. So basically, the same people who were ruling the world 300 years ago, these same bloodlines go through, and they worship Satan. Does Satan exist? Does the thought of Satan exist? Who worships Satan? What is a cult? Epstein Island. What is a temple? What occurs in a temple? Worship? Question mark. Why is the temple on top of a mountain? How many levels might exist below? What is the significance of the colors, design, and symbol above the dome? And I guess some of the answers would be stuff like the black and white chessboard, the design, the cube. Like I said, that represents symbolism. The symbol. See, I didn't even know we'd be reading this, but I know the questions in my head just from so long of looking at this stuff. And the symbol, that owl, like you said, what was that name? Moloch?
Yeah, Malik. And
Malik.
then
Yeah.
with the yellow one, like blue.
Yeah, blue and yellow as well. Yep. There's something to that. What's that? What's that all about? Because I always see that, the blue and yellow.
I'm not sure. I think something. I think it had to do with like Satan worship, something like that.
Yeah, because I know the black and white represents like the duality of like, you know, Satan and all that. You know, he was an angel, but now he's a fallen angel. All that, you know, kind of like the duality within all of us. And I know that the Masons all have that, and every single Mason building you go into, Masonic temple you go into, has the black and white checkered. And now that it's in your head, you'll see it everywhere. You're gonna see it on every time they have a video awards, Grammys. You're gonna see it everywhere. The symbolism. Once you start learning the symbolism, you see it everywhere, and then you start realizing, holy shit, this world really is. I mean, the Bible even says that this is like, you know, like Satan has the domain of this world, but overall, God will, you know, come and take back His children. You know.
You realize how bold they are, how the open it is.
Exactly, and I think that there's something to that. It's almost like I think the more out in the open it is, the more powerful the magic and the power behind it is. You know, it's at the point now where people are so just either totally awake or totally out to lunch that they can just put it right in your face. Right in your face. It's so obvious at this point. I mean, the last thing I seen Madonna do in Europe is for her, even her video for this song. And she did a live performance, and she does all these things. She keeps killing things, and she has all these like obvious Satanism, and all, you know, the one eye patch, the upside down cross, and friggin' all kinds of. She has the serpent on one leg and something else on the other leg, and she has the checkers, the white and black checkers on her, all kinds of stuff like that. She's big time. Watch any of her stuff; it'll be all over it. Even like at CERN, they had this place, Gotthard Tunnel. They didn't even hide it. It wasn't even some symbolism. It was just straight up this like story of what's supposed to happen in end times, according to Revelation, with the woman, and it comes like pains of labor, like a woman having birth. You know, the pain becomes further and closer together until finally the birth is made. But the dragon will wait for the seed and try to kill and eat the seed. But Saint Michael will fight him. All this stuff, and the whole thing is basically played out in a play, with all of the like Europe's presidents were there, and it wasn't just like nobodies. I mean, it's like this huge thing. It's called if you want to look it up afterwards, it's called the Gotthard Tunnel, or Gotthard, like Gotthard, or GOTH. It'll come up. You put in CERN, CERN, and then put tunnel. Tunnel satanic opening. Basically they were opening this tunnel, and it had like a legend behind it that involved a goat, of course, and it was cursed, and all this crap behind this tunnel. And they made a hole right in it and put a tunnel right through it, and that's right next to where CERN is, which has the statue of Shiva, the goddess of destruction. But she's also the goddess, I guess. You know, she's the one with all the arms and the tongue sticking out. So she would be like the Hindu like Satan, I guess. And there was even like a mock sacrifice going on in front of it, and somebody was recording it. And there's been like claims whether that video is real or not. As far as like it's real, but it's like was it set up? That's just the people that work at CERN just messing with people. But I don't know. And if they are, I mean, kind of a weird way to mess with people. You know what I mean? But they only think they just think that because you can see that they're wearing tennis sneakers. Well, what probably is just some CERN employees. But now that they're working in the field they're working in, they realize that their job is probably to break the veil, to get through the veil. And once God like lifts that, they'll be able to get, there'll be a time when God will allow that, and all kinds of stuff is supposed to come down on us, and it's going to be a very bad time for humanity. And you want to be right with God through Jesus, through the blood of Jesus. It's kind of like they call him the sacrificial lamb, because before Jesus, the Jews and stuff like that, they would literally have to sacrifice a lamb and then like rub blood above their doors, and God would pass them over, and yet he would kill everyone else. Those people, he know those people are pure and they are of God, and that's why they call that day Passover. He passed them over. Okay, if they kill a lamb in the right way, there's like a way you're supposed to sacrifice a lamb, and to this day some fringe cultures still do it. They sacrifice the lamb, but really they're more likely satanic, because the whole thing about Jesus Well, maybe they just don't believe in Jesus. You know, that could be it too. But I mean, to me, Jesus is the way. And the whole thing about Jesus is that he's supposed to take the place of the Lamb, that his blood was shed for our sins, so that we didn't have to sacrifice lambs and stuff like that. So that's why he sacrificed a lamb, all that. So let's just explain all that, because I don't know, but I figured I would, just in case any of that, because some of that was news to me. You know, they don't teach you that shit in Catholic school. I'll tell you that. You know.
Yeah, it is.
I don't mean to call it. I shouldn't even call it. Say that word, even associating with it, because this is real stuff. And you know, if the evil exists, the opposite exists. You know.
Exactly.
And so yeah, what is the significance? We went to what is the difference between the colors, design, and symbol above the dome? And we know that that's the owl. Why is this relevant? Who are the puppet masters? Have the puppet masters traveled to this island? Yes. When? How often? Why? Vladimir Putin, and this isn't, he didn't write this, but this must be part of the answers. Vladimir Putin came straight out and said the New World Order worships Satan. So, you know, the EU, all that, you know, any of those guys that are involved with all that. So I didn't know that they had like answers now. That's crazy. So I'd like to see the original. I don't want to see the answers. So now people have done so much work into this stuff that I'm not surprised. Oh, this is interesting as well. This is April 3rd, 2018. So this is an old post. The chair, in quotes, serves the master. Who is the master? P equals C. Q. Very cryptic, right? It's extremely cryptic. People think the chair means the Pope. So who's the master? I mean, you think that the master of, I don't know, P equals C. I don't know. I still haven't figured that one out. Pope equals, I don't know. I'm not sure. Paul. What is he? Paul. I don't want to keep you on the phone all night, but yeah. And then under that it says, why is Epstein spending $29 million to bury the tunnels underneath his temple on Epstein Island? Problem. Phones were allowed in. These people are stupid. So yeah, stuff like that. You know, when you if they really are an intelligence organization, I'll tell you right now, as somebody who did top secret stuff in the Navy, the NSA, if they brought their phones in with them, the NSA has everything they need, recorded everything. So phones were allowed in, so they know exactly where to go, you know what I mean? It's like it's already mapped out for them. You know, it made it very easy. So apparently he had these tunnels kind of like collapsed and buried, but apparently the people who did it, they didn't tell them, don't bring your phones. So that will help lead them to exactly where to go. They don't have to do much digging. They'll know exactly where to dig. So yeah, I think that Epstein going down is the first of many things, because now that I look at this is just me saying this now, Epstein was one of the first things mentioned. I mean, November 11th, that's about as far back as it goes. And he's, what is a cult? And then it says Epstein Island. I mean, he was one of the main figureheads of this whole, how this all started. This is a very famous post right here. And it's funny, when you click on it, you can go back and it'll bring you to, did you see where I just clicked? Look at where I just clicked.
See. Yeah, November 11th, 2017. That's when the early ones come.
Isn't that nuts? So see, you click where that is, and it'll bring you to 4chan. And this is where the magic is done. See, it's one thing for Q to be like kind of hinting at things. What these guys do is amazing. So anything associated with this is right here. Oh, see, at this point, no one believes them.
proper trick code. See these guys are still trying to figure out this guy for real. It's kind of funny to look at. So you don't really have your best working on this stuff yet. So hold on, let me go to a sooner one. Because people started believing them real quick when they started saying, oh yeah, if you're real, then have the president do this. And it started happening. That's when they were like, whoa. You know what I mean? But yeah, so you just click on the number of the, because every single thing put on the channel gets its own little number and its own trip code. Well, no, this is the trip code. And this trip code should never change. That's how it knows you know it's Q. He always has the same trip code. And you click right here, and you could just kind of look through 4chan from that point, which is I find extremely interesting because these guys are very smart and there's some funny stuff, you know. He even brought up Bill Maher. And oh look at that! And then I don't know if you ever saw this, but the M and the nod to masonry and all these guys and all these old paintings. When you start to look at them, a lot of them have that same with the two middle fingers together, your middle finger and your ring finger touching, and they all pose for paintings with those two fingers touching. And if you look through history, you'll see that over and over. These are all Freemasons here, all NASA there. So all these guys, even FDR I know that FDR was a Freemason, Stalin was a Freemason, and who was the third one? Oh, Churchill. They're all Freemasons. But I'll let you go, buddy. I don't want to keep you on the phone all night, but I was just happy to kind of introduce you to Q. And you really, this is like, I mean, you'll be digging for days about this.
Yeah, I'm checking it out now.
Yeah, really, once you start clicking on his posts and you look at what's going on behind the scenes with the Freemasons, the Anons, that's when you really get your mind blown. And how these are some of the smartest people. You can tell that these guys do like some crazy jobs in real life. You know.
Artists, huh? Artists, man, they're pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah, extremely. Yeah, and then they know what they're doing, and it's been, you know, I mean, it's just kind of crazy because, yeah, like this one, they have all kinds of information here.
Yeah, man. All right, well.
All right, brother.
Thanks for taking my call.
Oh no, thank you for calling in. I really appreciate it. And I never even got to cover any. I got to cover Q, and I got to cover Jeffrey Epstein. So I left some for the next show. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Take care.
Oh, you too. Bye.
All right. Bye. So yeah, I just wanted to explain some of that to that caller. You know, for those of you guys, you know, I kind of did that because. I just think that if I'm gonna be red pill, I mean, if he doesn't know about Q, that's a huge red pill moment for somebody. And he seems open-minded, and he seems to know most of this stuff anyways. And when you already know enough that you're awake, this is one of those things that really gets you. And it really starts to make sense when you really start to go down this rabbit hole. I mean, let's just see. Soon everyone will know. Keep it coming, Q. See, here's all these things now. Well, I guess that cleats up the Owl Phoenix debate. Oh, they had an Owl Phoenix to see. Remember I was saying Phoenix? Well, one of them looked like a Phoenix. The other one looked like an owl. 07. Which is taken to the gallows. Inside feed was RC. Oh, Rachel Chandler, Ray Chandler, as she goes by. Thank you, Q. Expose their evil soon. Interesting. That was interesting. See that one? This video is not gonna make it too far with Q on here, but it's interesting. So let's see what we got here. I mean, who got this picture? You know what I mean? Oh, who has that? And trust me, the thing is, you can't put some fake stuff up here, because they have guys who are like masters in every craft. If it's has to do with plane, they know everything about tracking, and when it comes to photographs, forget about it. I mean, your photograph, it has to be original. It has to never have been seen anywhere. Any part of your thing, it has to be it has to be authentic. That is what I'm saying. It's not gonna make it by these guys. If this was not authentic, I would see a bunch of crap above it, and you'd be able to tell. There'd be a bunch of people writing about it. They make sure they'll drown it out. But the fact that it's not drowned out tells me it's legit. Oh man, he's moving so fast. See, now Trump, he does have to play some type of like plausible deniability role, but he will do things on purpose like this. And when you're the president, you have the power to do a lot. So I don't know what you got over here. You got his Diet Coke, flag, Tylenol, I guess. I wonder if that, usually he does the triangle, but the fact that the triangle is like collapsed, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too far into that, but it does seem like it's collapsed. Got his little phone there. You know what I think is what I think it is about this picture, though? It is the proof that that truck is right there while Trump's sitting there. And you could tell Trump is like sitting, posing for this picture. I don't think he just sits when he's alone like this, just staring ahead with his hands in the perfect position. Like when I was in the military, I had an officer teach me when I'm sitting down, I have to know what to do with my hands, and that'll keep me from slouching. It'll give me good posture. So I always had a certain thing that I did with my hands, and it was similar to what he's doing, but less of a symbol type of thing. But you see outside the flag, and this will all match up with the next picture, I guess. So you see that, right? And then you go to this, and you can see these guys. They're all looking. He's looking at Air Force One over there. But you see what it says here. Q74. Now I don't know what the significance of 74 is or was. Oh, 74. But I don't know what the significance of 74 is. But yeah, Q. And it's signed 74. But that's not from Q, that's from somebody else. But this is a Q proof. It's gotta be. So, let's see. I have to be careful because I could click on something. Because sometimes you do like a real good job, somebody will send you a, hot girl. Sometime the worship of Moloch. That's who we was talking about. The owl. Same thing they do in the woods in California there at the Bohemian Grove, which was actually just not too long ago. Who worships Satan? What is a cult? What is a temple? What occurs in a temple? Worship. Why is the temple on top of a mountain? How many levels might exist below? You know what's crazy? I think the answer to that is 10. If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be 10 floors of
something. I could be wrong. Could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Take a look at this one. Yeah, having the chance on YouTube, this ain't gonna work. But you know what? I gave you guys the site, right? This is the site. QAnon.pub. Search whatever you want. You can put. I put island. I got a lot more by putting that than Epstein. He usually doesn't spell it out like he does here. Epstein Island, or like he does in the first one. Epstein, you know, just by putting island, basically everything here goes with it except for one, and that was about that something with a plane, but I think he actually refers to him in it. And then of course this, when he lists all the banks. These are all the central banks of each country. The United States is the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. And it said the Fed and the IRS. Fact, U.S. Federal Reserve is a privately owned company sitting on its very own patch of land, immune to U.S. laws. How convenient, huh? It's amazing. I think that's like one of the next big things to come. So I had a lot more to talk about that I was going to bring up. You know, I was going to talk about, let's see, Bill Maher on Twitter, how he's all of a sudden gone silent, and what a weird time to go silent the other day when there was so much to talk about. The Iranian boats attempting the seizure of the British tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. I hadn't read this particular article. This one's CNN. Like I said, I try to get my material from anywhere. Just, you know, like, look, I got Fox News, I got CNN, I got RT. You know what I mean? There's no political agenda here. I'll give you the liberal side, the conservative side, the Russian side. You know, it's about the truth. And that's what we're about here on this channel. And if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. This ended up going a lot longer, and I kind of just ended up staying on the Epstein subject, and then how that relates to Q. And then we kind of talked about some other stuff. And I think I'm just going to end it right here. I'm going to take a look at chat and make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, there was all kinds of other stuff we were going to talk about. We could talk AOC and what's it called? What's her name? Pelosi, all that crap. Also, unless there's been a quake, the earthquakes. I know that Dutch Sense, who I do trust, and he was able to predict not only an earthquake a long time ago, I couldn't believe it, but he was able to predict the biggest earthquake in many years. Like, what? How many years? That 7.1? So really, the 6.4 and then the 7.1. He was able to predict both of those earthquakes. He was able to give like a range, and he was almost within his range. He was actually underbidded a little bit, and when. And he said that if another one was to hit, it would hit by the 11th. And as you got closer to the deadline, and later in the day on that last day of the deadline, the crease would go higher and higher and higher. So I was wondering, wow, if I go on at, like this time, like 3 hours ago, with a quake happened during the show, that would be crazy. So I just wanted to be live during those hours, because I know those are peak hours. He said that if you got it wrong, you'd give back all the money and all that stuff. But we'll see. I don't see anything yet. Let me just make sure before I go saying that. Oh, I had some Antifa stuff, but it's alright. I got like a whole video of Antifa. Don't worry about that. That's for a whole different video, really. Yeah, a lot of other stuff I have for tonight. It's alright though. We'll get to it eventually. The fight with the
with Gorka. I mentioned most of this. AOC, Tommy Robinson, the riots in the UK. So you know, maybe tomorrow we'll talk about the riots in the UK and the UK seizure of the Iranian, because I do want to touch on that. But on a different video. I'm not sure how far this video will make. Hopefully it make it. Hopefully it didn't get taken down. I didn't violate any copyright, nothing. But the fact that the content, it's sensitive for some reason. I don't know why. It's just a lot, right? It's all fake. Huge is fake, right? I don't know why it's the most censored thing you could possibly do. But so let me just make sure before I sign off here. And also, I'm about to check chat. So if there's anything anyone wants to say in chat, go. Please feel free. Yeah. So it looks like, you know, they continue. However, but what he was talking about was that what he was saying was that the bigger ones, you know, from kind of like where I 2.5 and up, right? The threes, they were kind of heading in the direction of the San Andreas fault. And he's like, I don't know what to think of that. He goes, that could mean one of two things. It could mean something very, pretty kind of something good, or something very, very bad could happen. Because of, it's, you know, earthquakes, I thought they were a lot more random than I have learned they are through Dutch sense. It's pressure. It's this pressure that needs to be released. And earthquakes updated. Something happened? Oh, no. But it's pressure that needs to be released. So it looks like they're about an hour apart right now. Getting weaker. I mean, it could be a day off. Oh, 2.9. 3.6. 4.1. So yeah, California, I always get my eyes on you. Praying for you guys every night, and I hope everyone else is as well. Or if you don't, try to keep them in your prayers, because that's scary. I couldn't imagine every couple of minutes. Couldn't imagine. Oh wow, in Cuba, huh? Oh, Dominican Republic. Cuba's right here. Dominican Republic and Haiti. Puerto Rico. I suck. I'm pretty good at geography, believe it or not, and I actually butchered that. Okay. Alright, guys. Let me check chat. Alright. Still alive. Yeah, it's a great caller. He's a good kid. Oh, thank you, Kevin. And thank you for calling in, Kevin. I appreciate you calling in. And, oh, you have quite the rabbit hole to go down, my friend. Hi there, Matt. Is intense online. Not been in chat much. What's up, anime? What's the question? You can always watch it later, and Suzanne, I want a special thank you to you, Suzanne, as well. Thank you. Bohemian Grove, yes, Bohemian Grove. I don't understand what the problem was with that one person. It's like, can you believe that? Can you believe that? Yeah, I like to be able to. So I can look at you guys. Yeah, Suzanne, thank you. And I want to thank all the mods as well. Thank you by name. Kenley, thank you. Mark Knott, thank you so much, always. And Kenley, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. So I'm trying to see, what is it that, Moloch, yes, Rising, yeah, Hollywood, people will be shocked, yes, done, yeah. Do you really believe that? Well, your message, do you really believe that? Can I ask you to clarify? I don't know. I might need you to clarify because I don't know what that is. I've talked about it, a lot of stuff tonight. Do I really believe what? At the time, I might have been talking about the I could have been talking about Jesus. I could have been talking about Satan. I could have been talking about Q. I could have been talking about anything that Q talks about, anything that's going on Epstein Island. Gus the Broken, thank you. And you have a great night, Gus the Broken. Be safe over there. Pretty loaded show, despite not being about too many topics. I think people would be surprised by the title and where we actually go. That's the thing with this show. I never know where it's gonna really actually end up. But I didn't realize that article was as loaded as it was. That article was loaded, and I didn't even get to. There was another link I could have clicked. I could have just kept clicking links and just kept reading more and more about this crazy stuff he had in there, which I'll be happy to revisit tomorrow if you guys want to. But I just wanted to thank you guys again, and thank the mods. I really appreciate you guys. I want a special thank you to Suzanne, Kevin from Chicago, and Kelly Keeble. Special thank you to you guys for donating and assisting. And Angel Eyes out, you'll be in my prayers as well. Hey Veronica, I love you over here, but hey, I don't need to, don't come on talking about other channels alive on my thing. That's not cool. That actually pissed me off. I was about to end the stream right there. Like, that's the last thing I need. I don't like to, and the thing is, I don't like to, censor my chat. But, I don't, that takes away from my show. I'm trying to give you guys information that I'm trying to bring to you, and by saying that, they can see that for themselves if they want, and then they can make that decision on their own. I don't know what your intentions are making that announcement in chat. I know it's probably innocent, but I don't like it. And basically, it's that. And you know what? I'll read these after. I'm gonna have to do some thinking. Alright, guys, so that's all. When you need your Pez, you know exactly where to go. Red Pill News Dispensary. See you guys later. How about we get a little bit of play out music, huh? I just made this.
Pill.
Alright, fellas. Take care and thank you.
Pill new dispensary. Pill new dispensary.
Come get your pets.
Come get your egg. Pill new dispensary. Pill new dispensary. Come get your egg.